Welcome to episode number 23 of my Imperator Rome playthrough as the Bosporan Kingdom. We are about to engage in a war as detailed at the end of last episode with both Egypt and Carthage. I believe there is one other affiliate. No, Kush, that's correct. But he's fairly deep in, and I haven't factored him particularly deeply into my planning. Oh, look at that. I think we have a claim here. We did. At least there was one in works. Let's see. Well, that's actually fairly interesting. He took over. There was a small power here. I think it was the revolt version of himself, the Kushian revolt. So they must have come together and settled their differences. So I think this should be annexable and claimable. Well, that just happened in between, just the time in between episodes, I think. So I probably should go down there, really, and send another legion there. The problem is I don't have any legions available per se. I suppose I could hire a merc stack, but like a merc stack is probably not going to do it against the entirety of the Kushian realm. This does, however, lead very nicely into my intra-episode activities, which were trying to figure out a way to raise my legion count. It's not as though I don't have enough. Well, I do. I don't have enough, but Sarmatia Europa, Colchis, Moesia, Thrace, Macedonia, and Cappadocia, Pontica seem to be the standouts. I've been building theaters in those areas, and I've used what funding I had, it wasn't much, to move some pops from, say, the countryside to random provinces or cities. Like this one, I just click here and move all the Bosporans that were within this province in that city. And that is it's in Sarmatia, Europa. I finally got around to building some theaters here in Tyrus, Niconian, and Olbia. Mostly, as we've beheld these territories the entire game, they're mostly Bosporan. And I've moved pops through here so many times that some of them ended up staying. They ended up coming from Dacia. Anyway, the steppe here is wildly Bosporan as well. But I think that with all of the infrastructure in these cities, like I have 3 academies and a fair number of marketplaces, I think I can move pops from the steppe here to simply down into these cities as they become available going forward, and raise the legion count of Sarmatia Europa. It was fairly cheap and readily achievable. Much the same logic applies to the other larger enterprises here. Colchis just sort of has more units and has naturally created more Macedonians, as I think Phasis is a large city, and there are quite a few Bosporans there. This area here, I've been bringing Bosporans down from the steppe here. You can move them fairly readily into, say, this territory, bop them here, evacuate all those to here. Well, here's how you do it. It's a fairly simple endeavor. Actually, I don't want to spend money. I only have 500. But you'd consolidate here and then move here, and then consolidate all the pops that can move from here, which you've consolidated this province to. You move here, and then you can consolidate all the Bosporans from this province here. Then this is a city province, and then you'd move them here, 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 and then boom. It's a fairly cheap and simple way to raise your legion count, and I've been doing it relative to all of the micro and detail that I'm going to be involved with in moving units about here, and responding to 2 stacks and 5 stacks, and this happening and that happening in all of these various fronts in real time. This is very, very cheap, and I am going to argue relative to the time that I, as the player, have to spend dealing with it, a very, very prudent investment. As the higher my legion count is in Cold Cheese, or my territories, Moesia, Thrace, etc., the more units I have, and the easier it will be for me to put out the various fires in all of these areas that I have to deal with going forward. Now, you may say that it doesn't sound fun, or what? It is fun. It's for me. It's. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about doing that. I'm having fun trying to figure out better ways to leverage or make my warring more efficient. It's the warring. The warring is fun, but figuring out ways to make it more efficient, I think, is what makes this game quite appealing to me, at least. So that's what we have, and that's what we're going to do. And I've finally got around to building theaters. I noted there were not a lot here in Cappadocia Pontica either. I think that I can bring pops from the surrounding territories here, which are not going to end up being Legion spawn or Legion creation regions. Region. Into Cappadocia Pontica as the Bosporans become available. It's not exactly the most optimal site relative to pop capacity, but it's there, and it seems to be happening and actionable, so I just go with it. I note here that Carthage is not allied with Kush. That leads us into a very, very interesting opportunity. I will grant you that Kush has obliterated my claim that I had going up against the Kushian revolt, but if we check here, the provenance of Punt is 113 boom, but more to the point, it's actionable against Kush proper. We have a claim going up here. As to whether this guy is absorbed by Kush or whether our claim goes through makes this completely irrelevant, as one of two things will happen. A, he remains intact and we can attack him and establish adjacency to the heart of Kush here. If we add action Kush here with a claim, we would have to settle and then somehow colonize this, which essentially would be impossible because it's separated from any sort of connectivity to primary culture and religion pops. But if we take this, we can then declare war on Kush, which will theoretically trigger Egypt and Farfafa here. We could take both of them out. So if we declare war first on Carthage, we trigger Egypt, and well, wait a moment here. If we declare war on Carthage, we'd trigger Egypt and some small minors. We finish that war for whatever war score. Maybe we let it run 3 years and separate peace out with Carthage and Egypt. Or maybe if we can accrue enough war score, we'll just take enough for Alexander's empire reformation and get on with our day. I'm not sure. Leaving Carthage for some future date or whatnot. But as long as we're going to be in this area, and as long as our claim is in works and probably will hit by the end of the war, we can then declare on Kush, which will action Egypt and this Farfafa. So that'll sort of give us a double war against Egypt, which saves us the trouble of truce breaking, and further consolidates the region under Bosporan control. In the interest of consolidation, I'm going to go ahead and spend the 20 PI to finally claim this Thalmud area. And, well, that's about the size of it. That's what's happening strategically or on a wider scale. And then we're going to get down to the detail here of actually orchestrating these wars. And there's going to be a great deal of it. We have these guys headed over to Carthage. These guys are fearsome. There's a lot of them. I don't think Carthage can cope with it. We have a couple of fat merc stacks here and some proper armies headed over in this direction. We have no one here, I see. You know, I wonder if I'm over deploying to Carthage. My goal should be to take his capital, which is now here. Where is it? I think this is his capital here now. Let's see. Capital territory. Well, my point is that we really don't need all that many forces. All we need to do is proceed in this direction and take this territory and then sort of drop a couple of mercs into his capital and assault it and close the war out at that point. So having to, you know, deal with this area of Carthage or this part of Carthage, this part, all simultaneously, we don't have to do it. All we have to do is lower his enthusiasm. So, and these guys are, I have thought that these guys could maybe fend off Carthage, but I think that was really a pipe dream. But we do have 11 tech there. ECC's no technological slouch, I'll give him that. So maybe we'll drop these guys off here. A couple of armies. In fact, we have one. How many armies do we have here? 4 armies. We'll drop one of these armies here, and we'll bring 3 more over to Carthage. We'll drop the Stratos of cold cheese here. You'll note earlier I was speaking of trying to raise the force count in cold cheese. We need to do that badly here. This is a little bit underwhelming relative to... Oh, look at that. We've done it already. Let's add some more force count there. We'll add a few more here as well. Claim hit here on the Persian Empire. And Dravida as well. What's going on here, we don't really know. What we do need to do is declare this war before our stability hits 20, where we'll have to desecrate a new holy site. But anyway, our claim here is against Persia is right there. And that is one of the components of the Argead Empire Reformation. A fairly large Carthaginian army has showed up here. Well, there's no longer any hurry. We've gotten a stability event. Those pops I just now moved to Torica have already begun promoting and raised the legion count here by about 15 or thereabouts. So these are all rounded out here to 413s. I'm going to round out the rest of this. I've already done some of it. Let's see here. This one is a large stack, and we'll keep making it ever larger. And I think that is the extent of it. We are ready to declare war. Everything essentially seems in order. We have troops positioned appropriately. Macedonian army here is almost to its position. The new army from Cappadocia Pontica is here, and this unit here is over here. This war is going to be such that even if I provide periodic updates from time to time regarding, you know, important battles or tactical objectives met, I think it could run like a couple of episodes. So I'm going to do even less of it than I normally do and just sort of orchestrate the war and then give a more strategic level aggregate summary from time to time. So we have a claim here against Carthage. We're going to action it right now. Let's buy a stasis here. We could have positioned ourselves so we catch this guy out. We'll not really worry about it. I'm pretty sure a lot of the routes to our capital just failed. I'm going to check that and then get on with warring. What a slaughter. We just had a breakthrough. I'm thinking on siege ability. We have attrition, engineer cost. Boom. This discipline or military martial innovations I've been focusing on are between our traditions, our augmented heavy cav horse archers and infantry here. Let's see exactly how much, because we just stack wiped like a fairly formidable Carthaginian army. You'll note here it has heavy infantry. It's mostly light, but, well, its overform is what we know, and we hardly took any damage at all. We have 30%, whatever. We have 65 discipline here to our heavy cav, 25 offense and 10 morale. Let's see here. 45, 10, 30. And then 50, 20, 10. That's effective, all right. Our new wonder has been completed. The edifice of Toriki. Let's see here. 5 stability. We're going to take the stability surely. For what it's worth, it'll be gone before long. Where is it? I think it's here. There it is. 6% happiness. Output. 6% right down the line. Let's see what that's done to our loyalty levels. It should do no small trick here. Let's see. West Oman, I see. It's becoming problematic. Let's see here. I spent some money just recently. I had acquired a couple of thousand. I decided to further utilize cold cheese, building some aqueducts here, rounding out the theater group. All of these urban centers here are essentially have theaters at this point, and I want to make the cold cheese region one of our primary go-tos for legion count. The same as with Cappadocia Pontica. So with that having been said, I don't have a lot of disposable income, but it would seem as though this Oman area here is problematic. So it's bleeding 0.20, and let's see where these areas. Oman here is the problem. Let's see, Oman is 0.20 down. I'd imagine it's not at all Hellenic. So if we go like that, that'll make it 0.10 down. And at some point, these guys will assimilate and Hellenize. If we spend the rest of our money and move these guys, I see, that's Egyptian. Move these guys out to, I was thinking a loyal territory, but that's not so much so. This area here is bleeding as well, and that is not exactly chipper either. We could move these guys out, but it's a fair ways, so they're just going to have to maintain their position here in this this province. Let's see if we have a city. We have one city here. It's not bleeding very hard. Vatum, 0.8 down. I would imagine if we did the same with Vatum here, we could move some of these pops from the troubled Oman territory into Vatem, or we could just leave well enough alone and let them assimilate and convert outside of being consolidated into one city, where they'll consolidate and assimilate slower. There are already, or convert and assimilate, there are already plenty of candidates here for conversion and assimilation without adding to the count. The war is the war. It goes well. I've called up a couple of levies. We beat down this one levy, one martial levy. This new levy going down. This is sieging down. I chased this guy down up this slot. And various sieging activities going on here with our new Macedonian levy. We beat this guy down. We have a looks as though this guy is gone mad again. We're going to try to do away with him with the Cappadocia Taurica levy. We are sieging down various things here. This guy is... we're going to send a proper legion up, hopefully stack wipe that guy. Who knows, really. This area is secure. This area is coming around. We're beating these guys soundly in any and all ways. Here goes another one of these battles against Carthage here. Seleucid Megali, we've done it. Boom, stack wiped them again. Looks as though an Egyptian revolt just blew. We need to deal with that. I think we can separate peace out with these guys. So we can. Another stack wipe here. The wars are going well. This area is the one we want. The revolt has it. It's part of Alexander's empire. Lots of occupation efforts, levies being called up, various things going on. We can take this revolt area here as well and separate peace out, or not separate, but just peace out with them. This is a slaughter, and there's never... How did that happen? I don't know. These, it is not consistent with the word slaughter, that's for sure. What happened there? I don't know. That's strange. Well, another stack wipe here, wherever that exactly was. Looks as though we beat that guy, but he, Merc stack and Merc stack. 14 man, 12 man. Gonna change that guy's formation to a phalanx and see if it does any good. We have another Merc stack headed here. This guy seems to be just barely holding out against that second army, but he should win. We just stack wiped somebody here. Can he do it? I think he can. I think there were just like 7 pop-ups during this singular battle, but we're gonna get a resolution here. We've done it. We've done it. It's a very, very involved war. Let's see how our loyalties are doing it from our new wonder that we built. West Oman still. What is this area here? Let's see, 0.31 down. And what drives the area? It's a singular city with no... that should help over the longer term. I'd imagine there are no Bosporans about. There are none. No, there are some Hellenes though. Maybe if we get the Hellenes into the city, they will trigger the threshold before much longer. Let's see. I imagine there are not many Hellenes there, but there will be. There will be once that temple goes up. Boom. I think this makes this claim, or this region here, actionable. So I think rather than have Egypt and the Egyptian revolt reconcile, while I try to siege down this capital territory and make it through. I could probably take more, but I've been down that road a couple of times, and sometimes strange things happen relative to Egypt and the Egyptian revolt reconciling and strange exile or peace agreements forced upon me. So I think that I will take what I can get when I can get it, which would be right now. Let's check this area here. We'll just take the lot. There must be more. There's one here as well. We can take that and that. Is there more? There is more. This area here comes to mind. I could wait. I could. There must be more here somewhere. There is, though. Right here. 154, 150. We could try to take this territory here, but let's close it out. I'll take the money, surely. Build cost, boom. So we took a fair clip out of the Egyptian revolt. We're back in the chips as well, and we're it's a decent enough time to end the episode, I think. What needs to get done immediately is we need to use the capacity that we built up for Intorica, our capital territory. Get some pops there, get them promoting. We need to get this legion count up. Lots of research, various Freeman activities. Perhaps build another wonder. We'll build it quicker in 4 years instead of 6, perhaps. There's quite a few pops. The good news is we have quite a few pops about here. And if you just simply just let's see, this area here. If we go here, we can grab all of the pops from this whole region without inadvertently pulling some pops in from here. So let's just do it. There's not a lot because I just evacuated that area. And then we can move those guys in here. It's all Bosporan. We can then move quite a few pops from here to, say, here. Or actually, we can aggregate the pops from this territory here. And then we won't have any sort of chance of moving these pops inadvertently. Or any other, we won't pay any extra fee. And move pops twice. We'll just roll down here and get these guys on the road. So now I think there's no pops here or here, so we can safely, let's move all the pops that can be moved from this territory right here. Now we could move them into these cities, but in the interest of expediency, that sort of defeats the whole point of this exercise. But we could move this Gecko guy here into Tanius. Can you tell I like moving pops? I do. I like the result of moving pops about is what I like the most, which was a slaughter of the enemy's forces on the field. Let's just do it here. We'll move them all into this territory here, whatever can be moved out of... we have 10 guys here from this Gecko area. As to whether he could have been moved directly to the Toric or the Bosporan, Bosporus Minoris, I think it's called. What is it? Bosporium. So we have more pops here. Now we can move these guys here. There's no pops around here. So we can be sure that just click the button and then not inadvertently move pops twice about here, there, or wherever. So all of these territories around this province have been cleaned of pops. We can move... this territory now is cleared of pops. All that can be moved have been. So if we go here, we can now just click the button and not have any danger of inadvertently moving pops or shuffling about twice. We'll just move them all and not worry about the timeliness, and we'll move them in here now. There's quite a few that can be moved. And then we'll move them more, those guys here. We should be able to congregate quite a few pops. How many do we have here? 28. 17 pops here. So that's a fair number, a good start. I'm going to continue that process and fill out these cities in the our capital territory. I hope to see you in the next episode.